Hi, and welcome to Drupal Brief. This is an AI-generated summary of another video, podcast, or blog post. If you want to learn more about what's being discussed here, then please go check out the source. This podcast is produced by the team at Drupal Forge. Drupal Forge is the new #1 open-source development and hosting platform. It has all the functionality of the expensive platforms, but at very affordable prices. If you're looking for a new hosting provider, contact us for a demo before you get locked in. Okay, that's it. Make sure to click subscribe, and here we go.
For anyone who's ever tried managing a community, maybe a membership group or even just a local club using Drupal, you know the feeling. The member lists are all over the place, event RSVPs are scattered, communication feels, disconnected. It's a kind of a common chaos, really. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a really interesting community initiative happening in the Drupal world. It's trying to fix exactly that. It's called Member Platform. We're pulling this from a recent chat on the Talking Drupal show with JD Leonard, who's leading it, and also looking closely at a key Drupal module that's involved. So our mission today, let's unpack why Member Platform even exists, what its big goals are, how it's tackling this common challenge in maybe a unique way, and importantly, what it means for you if you're involved with any kind of community group. And yeah, we'll definitely get into that crucial module that kind of underpins it all. Okay, so let's start there, actually, with this module called Profile. Have you ever found yourself wishing you could store user info in, like, separate profiles, distinct from the main user account?
Absolutely. And the Profile module, it's kind of foundational for understanding Member Platform.
Yeah.
It addresses that exact need. It basically lets you create these flexible profiles, separate entities really, tied to a user account but managed distinctly.
Okay, tell me more about that. How does it work?
Well, it's been around a while. The project itself started back in October 2015 by Buoyance. But the core idea, the code, actually goes way back, maybe even to Drupal core 4.0 branch with Trey. Nowadays, Jonathan Saxic from Centuro is maintaining recent releases. It's actively maintained, security covered, tests are running. It supports Drupal 9, 10, and even 11.
Wow. Okay, so it's stable and current.
Very much so. And get this, it's officially used by almost 35,000 sites, which is impressive. And considering that, it only has about 53 open bug issues out of 125 total issues. Pretty solid.
That's pretty good stats. So conceptually, how does it work for the user?
Conceptually, profiles are just separate from the user account. Yeah. You usually edit them in a separate tab on the user's page. It's a pretty common web pattern. Feels quite natural.
Right. I've seen that pattern.
And it's super flexible. You can set up multiple types of profiles on one site. Permissions control who can create or edit which type. You can even choose to show profile forms during the registration process. And fields within a profile can be marked private, only visible to the user and admins.
Privacy controls, that's important.
Definitely. And you can configure how they display on the user's view page. They're also optionally revisionable, which is handy for tracking changes. One current limitation is translatability isn't built in, but there is a patch available if you need that.
Okay. Can you give me a concrete example? Where would I really need this?
Sure. Think Drupal Commerce. It's often considered a requirement there. You might have one user account, but need separate shipping and billing profiles with different addresses or details.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Or, like, the Netflix analogy is pretty good, one main account holder, but different profiles for different viewers, right?
Yeah.
The Profile module lets you achieve that kind of separation for different data sets tied to one user.
So why not just add custom fields directly to the user entity? What's the big advantage?
It really comes down to distinct permissions and privacy options for those fields. If you need granular control over who sees what or who manages which piece of information, Profile offers a much cleaner, more elegant way to do it than just piling fields onto the user object. And its history kind of shows this need. The Profile namespace was in core, then became Profile 2 in D7. Now it's back to Profile. It's a long-standing requirement in the community.
That totally clarifies why Profile is so crucial here. It gives Member Platform the structure it needs for handling member data flexibly.
Exactly, which brings us to Member Platform itself. So the elevator pitch. It's a Drupal community initiative. That's important. Anyone can propose one. It's not like a core strategic thing.
Okay, more grassroots.
Yeah, it allows people to just come together around a topic they care about. And its mission is basically to use Drupal to make membership organizations more efficient and effective, especially those without many tech or financial resources. The end goal is enabling those groups to have a positive impact on their communities. And sort of a secondary mission is building a welcoming community around this effort itself.
So what was the spark? You mentioned JD Leonard. How did this whole big idea come about?
It's a great story, actually. It comes directly from his own experience. After he moved to Austin, Texas, he joined his local neighborhood association, and he made sure to clarify it's a volunteer nonprofit, not an HOA, focused on community stuff.
Gotcha.
He became the treasurer, and boom, faced this total chaos with the membership lists. People paying manually, in person, an old PayPal button that didn't capture enough info, loads of manual follow-up needed. And this was for a neighborhood with like over 10,000 residents. Plus, no reliable way to email members.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see the pain point there.
Totally. Then he became president and realized their website was this, like, 1990s feeling HTML site that needed modernizing. He wanted to use Drupal. But that surfaced two huge challenges that really led to Member Platform. One, Drupal needs maintenance.
Right.
That's tough for an all-volunteer group long-term.
Absolutely unsustainable sometimes.
Exactly. And two, he saw that tons of organizations, clubs, associations, meetups, nonprofits have really similar needs. Why is everyone rebuilding the wheel?
Yeah.
We needed something repeatable, reusable.
That makes perfect sense. A classic Drupal scratch-your-own-itch story, but with a broader vision. So, okay, translating that struggle into a plan, what does the first version, the MVP, actually aim to do?
Right. The minimum viable product, or 1.0, the vision is basically a light version of meetup.com.
Okay.
Initially, a single installation would serve just one group, and importantly, it would handle free memberships to start.
Free memberships only for V1. Got it.
Yeah. Members could, sign up, become a member, manage their member profile. That's the profile module connection right there, and RSVP to events.
Simple core stuff.
Exactly. And organizers could manage the members, manage events and the RSVPs, and send emails out to the members. But the really crucial piece, the emphasis for the MVP, is owning the data. That's the big differentiator from platforms like Meetup.
Addressing that vendor lock-in frustration.
Precisely. It's also got a global scope planned, aiming for at least one non-English language for 1.0. And strategically, it's definitely looking to help Drupal user groups who are feeling the squeeze from Meetup.com's rising costs, the paywalls, limited customization, and especially not being able to easily get their member contact info.
And maybe solving the spam issue, too.
Yeah, that's another hope, giving organizers more control.
Okay, light version of Meetup is a good hook. But you hear events and Drupal, and you think of event platform, right? Another big initiative. How do these two relate? Aren't they similar?
It's a really common question, and it's important to distinguish them. Event platform is laser focused on the needs of, say, Drupal camps or similar small conferences. Think bigger, less frequent events.
Right, like an annual conference.
Exactly. Member platform, though, is looking at a broader set of needs across an organization's lifetime. That includes smaller, maybe more frequent events like meetups, but also much more extensive communication needs, member management. It goes way beyond just the event itself.
So they address different scales and scopes.
Yeah, and an organization absolutely could use both. You might use member platform for your day-to-day member stuff and regular meetups, and then spin up event platform for your big annual conference.
Okay, so they could coexist. Is there collaboration happening?
Definitely. The leads of both initiatives talk regularly. They're actively exploring integration points. There's even this cool idea floating around about an upstream API for event registration.
Oh, what would that do?
Imagine if attendee entities, basically the contacts stored in member platform system, could RSVP directly to events, not just logged in Drupal users. That could be really powerful for connecting the ecosystems.
Yeah, that sounds like a big step. Now, thinking about platforms like Meetup again, there's that idea of like a central place to discover events, maybe a single login.
Right.
The network effect, is that something Member Platform is aiming for?
The holy grail question. It comes up a lot, usually because people are just so used to how Meetup works. Short answer, it's out of scope for the MVP. Building that kind of network effect, you need critical mass first. It's a huge undertaking.
Makes sense. You got to walk before you run.
Exactly. Now, long term, Drupal.org could potentially play a role here, maybe as a central discovery hub for Drupal meetups, especially with its new Keycloak single sign-on system. Though there are policy hurdles and technical bits still stalled on the Drupal.org side for letting external sites use that SSO easily. But both Member Platform and Event Platform have open issues tracking that possibility.
But Member Platform isn't just for Drupal groups, right?
Right, that's key. It aims to serve any membership group, like a local Lego user group, a book club, whatever. So a Drupal.org-specific SSO wouldn't be a universal solution anyway. There's also been talk about technically federating events across different groups, maybe using something like ActivityPub. But that's currently seen as a bit too esoteric and nerdy for the MVP focus.
Keep it simple first.
Yeah. The core message remains. Use free platforms like Meetup if you need initial visibility, fine. But drive people to your member platform site to actually own your data. That's huge for nonprofits, for donors, for sustainability. It's about control.
Data ownership is definitely a recurring theme. Okay, looking beyond the MVP then, what other big ideas are on the roadmap for the future?
Oh, the post-MVP vision is pretty ambitious. They want to support lots of different membership types, not just simple annual ones, but different durations, multi-person memberships.
Like a family membership.
Exactly. Like a YMCA family plan where you have specific logic for adults versus kids, that kind of complexity. Also, memberships for organizations themselves, think chambers of commerce where businesses are members.
Okay, much more sophisticated membership models.
And of course, accepting payments for dues. That's a big one. This might involve integrating with Drupal Commerce for complex scenarios, or maybe simpler solutions using Stripe and web forms directly.
Which still needs some setup knowledge, I guess.
Yeah, gotta acknowledge that. Setting up Stripe with web forms, while doable, isn't zero-click for a non-technical user. But it's an option.
So that leads into the bigger picture, the overall vision.
Right. There's really a two-part overall vision post-MVP. Part one is about providing this Drupal native ecosystem, tools that are secure, privacy-focused, integrated, hopefully beautiful, user-friendly, tools that can meet most of the operational needs for, say, at least 80% of membership organizations globally that have maybe 0 to 5 staff members.
Yeah.
So really optimizing for that smaller end, including all volunteer groups.
Okay, focusing on the underserved segment, what's part two?
Part two is interesting. It's to facilitate the existence of, but not implement themselves, affordable turnkey software as a service or SaaS solutions built on top of member platform.
Like enabling others to build businesses on it?
Exactly. JD used the analogy of a bowling league sauce. Member platform provides the solid open source engine, and then maybe someone else creates a hosted simplified version, specifically for bowling leagues or churches or whatever niche.
That addresses the hosting and maintenance problem for non-tech groups.
Precisely. It tackles that sustainability challenge head on. Maybe platforms like Drupal Forge or Drupito could help make this SaaS model easier to realize down the line.
That's a really comprehensive vision, which brings us back to a core technical decision. The project page says they're contributing to the CRM project. Why build on an existing CRM? Why not start fresh?
Yeah, that was a very strategic decision. As the vision solidified, it just became super clear that building on a Drupal native CRM was the way to go. They looked at the options CRM Core, Red Hen, Contacts, but landed on the newer CRM namespace project. It's maintained by Stephen A's, Blue Geek 9.
Why that specific one?
Because its architecture was still relatively early stage, which meant they could work with the maintainer to ensure it could handle the wide variety of use cases member platform needed. It offered more flexibility to influence the foundation.
Okay. And just to clarify, we're talking CRM, not ERP, right?
Correct. Enterprise resource planning is a whole different beast, though it might have CRM components. This is focused on customer contact relationship management.
What about organizations that already have a CRM, like Salesforce or something?
That's actually one of Drupal's strengths, right? Integrating and pulling data from external systems. The CRM project is being architected with synchronization in mind. Connecting to Salesforce or MailChimp is definitely part of the potential. The core of the CRM project is this contact entity type. It has bundles for person, household, organization, and crucially, relationships between these contacts. That structure is just ideal for what member platform needs.
So member platform is fundamentally contact-centric, not user-centric.
Exactly. That's the critical distinction. It's about organizing information for the organizers. In essence, member platform is a CRM tailored for membership groups.
So building on CRM saves them from reinventing the wheel.
Totally. It's more work up front to collaborate and contribute upstream, no doubt. But it means a massive chunk of the core functionality, contact management, relationships, maybe activity tracking gets developed and maintained by broader community focused on CRM in general. Member platform can then focus on the membership-specific layers. Plus, this makes the whole stack more appealing to maybe mid-size or larger nonprofits who want an open-source alternative to something complex like Civa CRM, offering potential cost savings and better integration with their Drupal site.
That's a really smart ecosystem-focused approach, which leads to maybe the most surprising question, given all this foundational work. Where is the member platform code? Is there a module I can download?
Asked lightly. Yeah, this is where people often get surprised. The answer is there isn't any specific member platform module or code repository yet.
Really? None at all?
Not under the member platform name, no. All the code contributions made by the initiative members so far have gone directly into the upstream CRM project.
Okay, wow. Why?
Because the features they need for solid contact management, basic event registration, link to contacts, these are things that any Drupal site using the CRM module might want. They're foundational. So the thinking is, let's build that functionality robustly in CRM itself, making it available to everyone. Implementation is happening just within CRM, which is currently at Alpha 4, and moving pretty quickly with that general foundational code.
Okay, that's fascinating. So if the functionality lives largely in CRM, how will Member Platform actually be delivered to users down the road? Not as a module then, a distribution.
It'll absolutely be delivered as a recipe or a site template. That's the plan.
Using the new Drupal core concepts.
Exactly. Recipes are perfect for this. They allow for opinionated installations tailored to specific needs. You could have a meetup group recipe and a neighborhood association recipe. They'd both pull in the CRM module and other dependencies, but they'd come pre-configured, maybe with specific content types, views, maybe even some basic starter content. Much more bang for your buck for the end user organization.
Gives them a running start.
Totally.
Yep.
And it reinforces that idea.
Yeah.
The core power comes from the CRM ecosystem, and the recipe just packages and configures it for a particular use case, not one giant member platform module doing everything.
That makes so much sense for those smaller orgs needing something easy. Now, the whole planning process you've described sounds incredibly structured, very deliberate. Why that route instead of just, a dev building something quickly?
Yeah, J.D. Leonard's background as a program manager at Microsoft definitely comes through there. It's structured planning. It's quite different from the typical Drupal path, right? Where maybe one developer builds a module and hopes others will find it useful and contribute.
Right, build it and they will come. Sometimes.
Sometime. Here, the choice was deliberate. Plan first. Make sure a wide range of use cases were considered from the outset. Be explicitly inclusive. And importantly, try to prevent the project from depending too heavily on just one person. Now, does this approach slow things down initially? Yes, absolutely. It necessarily slows things down, as JD put it, but the benefit is deeper consensus, broader input, and hopefully a more sustainable foundation.
That sounds like a really refreshing approach for the Drupal community. Prioritizing the thinking, the collaboration, supporting existing projects, not just rushing to code.
I agree. It's about building on what's there, integrating, maybe getting off the Drupal island a bit by connecting with these foundational efforts like CRM.
Are there challenges with this approach?
Oh, sure. Well, the meetings themselves are apparently very productive, and they reach consensus surprisingly easily. The classic volunteer challenge remains: motivating people to do concrete work between meetings. Especially in this heavy planning phase, that's expected to get easier once there's more member platform-specific code, like the recipes themselves, to actually build.
Okay, so if someone listening is thinking, wow, this sounds great, I want to help, what's the best way for them to get involved?
Great question. There are a few ways. If you're a coder, the best place to start right now is actually the CRM project on Drupal.org.
Contributing upstream.
Exactly. There are plenty of tasks there that directly help member platform because it relies so heavily on CRM's foundation. Now, for member platform-specific work, help is really needed in fleshing out the functional specifications, maybe building wireframes, defining the tasks for those recipes.
So UX folks, designers, project managers.
Yes. People with good design sense, UX skills, project management experience are super valuable right now in shaping what those recipes will look like. And there is a community forming. About 20 people are commented on the issue queue wanting to contribute. Maybe 10 regularly join the meetings. 3 or 4 are actively coding on CRM. And the Slack channel has over 115 people. So there's definite interest.
Any early adopters lined up?
Yeah, several Drupal user groups are keen, a church group, even the Drupal mentoring team is looking at it. So there are real-world use cases waiting.
Fantastic. And how do people connect?
Best place to start is melplatform.org. That's MEAL platform.org. It just redirects to the main Drupal.org project page. For conversation, jump into the Drupal Slack channel, #member-platform. Definitely introduce yourself. And there's also a newsletter linked from the project page if you just want to follow along with updates.
Okay, what a fascinating deep dive today. We've really unpacked the Member Platform Initiative, its community roots, that personal origin story from J.D. Leonard, and the really smart strategic decision to build on the CRM project. And that surprising twist, no actual Member Platform code yet. It's all happening upstream in CRM for now, building that foundation.
Exactly. And for you listening, the real takeaway is how this initiative is trying to build flexible, open source solutions for all kinds of membership groups. The goal is saving them money, avoiding vendor lock-in, and crucially, empowering them to own their own data. That could be a real game changer for small organizations.
It really could. So thinking about that collaborative ecosystem-first approach, it makes you wonder, considering the challenges so many small organizations face, what other unsolved problems out there do you think could benefit from a similar community-led effort, one that leverages existing open-source projects like this? Something to think about. If you want to learn more or get involved with Member Platform, definitely check out melmolandplatform.org and the #member.form channel on Drupal Slack.
Okay, we're done. To close off this podcast, I just wanted to remind you that this brief was a fully AI-generated summary, and we take no credit for the original content. If you want to learn more, then check out the source. This podcast is produced by the team at Drupal Forge. Drupal Forge is the new #1 open-source development and hosting platform. It has all the functionality of the expensive platforms, but at very affordable prices. If you're looking for a new hosting provider, contact us for a demo before you get locked in. And if you like this podcast, hit subscribe, post a link on social media, and recommend it to 2 friends. That's it. See you next time. Bye for now.